Hello and welcome to another bearing removal and installation video featuring Boca bearings. Today's engine is a slightly more modern two-stroke engine, and it is an Evolution 61 NT engine. Now these engines came out in the early 2000s. I believe 2005 was when the first Evolution engine came out. These are a line of engines that were marketed by Horizon Hobbies and produced in China. Now the particular engine I've got today, the 61 NT, was given to me by a really good friend, Jeremy. Had a box complete with the instructions, muffler, and everything that would come with it. Looked new from the exterior, but when I disassembled the engine, it looks like there's a little bit more runtime on there than it was just new from the factory. So it was locked up completely, couldn't turn it over at all. So I've got it disassembled, but I've got it mocked up on the table to show you what it looks like, and then we'll get right into the bearing removal and replacement. Okay, so here is the mocked up Evolution 61 NT engine. Now this engine comes with a remote needle valve, but I've already got that taken off. In fact, I've got just about everything off of this engine. In fact, I don't even think I've got the piston in here anymore. I think I've got it all out. But I just wanted to show what this engine looks like, and basically that's it. I think it has some really cool features like this purple anodized drive hub. Let's see if I can just pop this head off here real quick. As you can see, it's got slightly different design of the head and styling of the engine. Now this particular styling of this engine is not appealing to me at all, so I've never really been too interested in these engines, but if an engine is given to me and needs servicing, I'm certainly going to do just that. So this engine is basically ready to have the bearings pulled out of, and even still, oh man, I heated it up a little bit just to disassemble it. These bearings feel really rough. So let's get right into removing and replacing bearings. Okay, so here on the table I've got all those other extraneous parts removed from this engine. So I've just got the crankcase, crankshaft, and these really stiff feeling bearings in this engine. I've got all the tools I believe I'm going to need. As famous last words typically go, I think this should be a very simple removal and installation, but I've been challenged in the past. So I've got my standard flat nose punch here. I've got one of the parts, or one of the chucks from the Boca bearing miniature bearing removal set, just in case this bearing doesn't want to come out on the crankshaft, and in case that there's not a lip in there for me to get. I've got my Delrin block and my light hammer, my desk vise, and my trusty 30-plus-year-old heat gun. So with all that said, let's begin heating this crankcase up and get these bearings out. Let's see. I don't know if I got enough heat in that or not. Got enough heat to get the crankshaft out. Whether or not the bearing came out with it is yet to be seen. And it did not. So that bearing, here's our crankshaft. Really dirty. That needs to get cleaned up really, really well. And let's see if I can feel in here. Nope, this does not give me any room, so I'll be using this chuck here from the Boca bearing miniature bearing removal set. So first I just want to get this front bearing lined up, get this out, and there's that bearing. So now let's move these things off to the side here. I'm probably going to install this chuck in here and then heat this up considerably again, but I'm going to have to expand this quite a bit just to get it to get in there. And I'm pushing this in so that it just goes into the race. Maybe I expanded it a little bit too much there. And see, it's one of those, it's a balancing act between getting it to expand enough to hold it in place and get right on that that groove. Okay, I think we're there, so now I can get my other tools and okay, so this is what exactly what I want to see. I want to see that thing rotating around in there, because that means I'm in the bearing itself and in that groove between that small gap between the front of the case, or the case, and that bearing. So I really like to see that. I think I'm there. Now, obviously, I can't just pull this thing out. I'm going to have to tap it out, but I just want to make sure that I'm really where I need to be. I'm not so sure that I am now. It's hard to tell. It doesn't look like I am. I think I need to get in there a little bit deeper. It's tough to tell when you've got really tight fitting. Okay. Oh, that looks perfect right there. Now I can really expand that jaw a little bit more. Am I loosening it? Well, it's expanding. Okay. I think I got it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is get this drive punch out here. That side fit. Oh, it's got to be this side here. Move these things out of the way, and I'm going to heat this crankcase up again. Yeah, it's in there good. So we're going to really heat that thing up to help get this out. Okay, I think I've got that pretty warm. So now I'm just going to have to hold this thing and do one of these numbers on it. Let's see if it doesn't look like it's coming out yet at all. I think what I'm going to have to do is tighten this guy up again. Told you, famous last words. I think it's going to be an easy extraction. Doesn't always work out that way. Let's see if I've got... I don't know if I... Doesn't look like it had been coming out at all. There we go. And there it is. Can be a challenge at times. So here's what I'm talking about. You have to get, and I've got this in there a little bit too far now, but you can see where the edges of this chuck expanded, and they're supposed to be, you know, just on the other side of this inner ring, just like they are. It looks like maybe I had pushed it in there a bit further, but that's fine. It came out, and now I can take this, relieve pressure on this jaw, and we can get this bearing out. Oh, maybe I need to do a little bit more there. There we go. So there's our bearing. I can hear it, I can feel it. This front bearing, oh man, this front bearing is really rough. It's really rough. It's going to be hard to see or hear, but it's really, really rough. So there we go. Our bearings are out, and now it's just a matter of putting this case in the ultrasonic cleaner, cleaning it up, and I'm going to take this down to the bristle brush, brass bristle brush on my bench grinder, and get this all polished up and cleaned up and ready to accept a new set of bearings. Okay, so here I am back on the table with cleaned up crankcase. It didn't really require a whole lot of cleaning. I mean, most of the cleaning that was necessary was just trying to get the grime and grit out from, or the fuel residue out from where the bearings were sitting. But other than that, I mean, it does look a little bit better. But look at this crankshaft. If you recall what that used to look like, this is what a couple minutes on the bench grinder with a wire brass brush does to it. That's just spectacular looking. And I had forgotten to show when I had it all mocked up, I said that this looked like a very low time, or I thought it was a new in box engine. But this is what the piston looks like. Now, the only thing I've done to this piston was when I took it out of the engine, all I did was take a little paper towel and just wiped it. I didn't do anything else to it. I didn't clean it up at all, no ultrasonic or anything. So that's what the piston looked like. And that told me, I mean, it was completely black. And the clean spots is just what I was able to clear off with just wiping it. I'm not going to do anything further with that. But the thing that's really cool, a very nice feature of this piston and piston pin setup is that you've got a circlip holding the piston pin in place here. But this side of the piston, the hole is smaller, so the piston pin cannot come out that way. It can only come out one way, which is always a nice feature. And that is one feature that's superior to the OS designs where you had the holes the same side and you could make it go in and out either way, especially if you have to extract that pin for any reason. So I'm going to put that off to the side. And I've got the used bearings here. I've got the new bearings. I've got the cleaned up parts. I've got my bottle of Boca's Lightning Lube Road Power, which I like to put some in a little glass jar so I can put that stuff on the bearing surfaces. I use that as my bearing installation and reassembly lube. And of course I've got all my standard tools plus the set of Boca bearings that are going to go into this engine. And this kit number is ENK-210. That's the kit number. So let's take these bearings out, and it looks like this rear main bearing is already an open shielded bearing, so we don't have to do anything to that. The front bearing has got metal shields on each side, so I will be removing one shield from one side of that, and then we will be ready to rock and roll here. There's just something about a nice new set of bearings that just is almost like crankshafts. I just really kind of like them. So here's the old bearings. So I kind of like to just put them side by side, make sure they're the right ones, and I've already kind of done that with these, so they are. So let's move some of this stuff out of the way. Let's pull a shield on this bearing here. There we go, that shield is off. So that bearing is new, or is ready to go. So I'm gonna just use my finger to lubricate these areas where the bearings are gonna go in, and anything else I can reach with my finger here. Now I'll always install the rear bearing on the crankshaft itself to install it into the housing. And the reason I do that is because when it's on there like that and the front bearing's already in, it acts as a self-centering mechanism, so you're not going in there, or you're not putting the bearing in there and it's cocked. So that's how I like to do things. Let's get this all nice and lubed up and see how easily. Seems like the last few installations I've had some tough installations with these rear bearings, but this one feels like it's gonna go on there all right. Maybe. It's like just getting over this lip here. The port lip was where it was wanting to hang up, so I may have to tap it down on there, and then this side doesn't. There we go. So yeah, it's like it's just wanting to hang on that, so I'm going to put this in here and just lightly tap this down into place to clear that port gap. Let's do a little bit more there. There we go. So I don't know why sometimes that's necessary to clear that port, but it is. So let me get a little bit of lubrication on this bearing here. This one here as much as I can. And we will heat these I'll heat this crankcase up and get these bearings installed. That should be more than adequate. Front bearing is installed. I guess it feels warm enough. We'll find out here. Don't need that necessarily. Is that all the way in? Yes, it is. All right. So there you have it. Nice new set of bearings in this Evolution 61 NT engine.